Hi there, Dance Studio owners. It's Clint Salty here, CEO and founder of the Dance Studio Owners Association. And I hope you had the chance to join us for our free Student Attraction Challenge. It's been wild seeing the incredible results that studio owners have been achieving. Now, before we jump into this week's podcast episode, I have some great news about our Student Attraction training series. The doors are now officially open for our signature Student Attraction Intensive program. I'm talking about our one and only 8-week deep dive into student attraction, marketing, enrollment, retention, and so much more, where you'll be working closely with me and my team of industry-leading experts. The 8-week Student Attraction Intensive starts on the 17th of August, and during our time together, we'll be deep diving into your customer experience, enrollment process, marketing plans, Facebook ads, website, offline marketing, retention, and so much more. We're also going to be bringing you the best in the biz when it comes to our special guests. We've got Matthew Kimberley, Tina Tower, Cody Thompson, The Digital Picnic, and Facebook fairy godmother Tracy Morgan joining us for exclusive trainings just for our program members. Everything you need to know can be found at dsoa.com/SAI. That's dsoa.com/SAI. Or feel free to email us at hello@dsoa.com for all of the details. We'd love to have you with us inside of the Student Attraction Intensive, and I hope I get to work with you. Now, on to this week's episode of the Transform My Dance Studio podcast.
Welcome to the Transform My Dance Studio podcast. This month, we are delighted to be welcoming back guest hosts, Becca Moore and Danny Rosenberg. Becca and Danny are the co-owners of Rhythm Dance Center in Marietta, Georgia, now celebrating their 27th season. Rhythm is home to 1,100 amazing students. Becca and Danny are known for their always creative and fun approach to dance and carry that over into all aspects of the studio. In this special 8-part podcast series, Confetti State of Mind, Becca and Danny will be sharing their history, business partnership, and overall positive approach to teaching and running a fun, successful dance studio.
Hi, everyone. I'm Becca Moore.
And I'm Danny Rosenberg.
And together we own Rhythm Dance Center in Marietta, Georgia. We are about to begin our 28th season during this crazy time. And this year definitely looks different, but we are making it happen. In addition to our studio, we're the owners and creators of Confetti on the Dance Floor, where we share tons of information, sell creative products, and ultimately hope to inspire dance teachers and studio owners like yourselves to make dance fun in your studio.
Yes. And today, for our final episode of this series, Confetti State of Mind, we are going to answer a few questions that we've received over the last several weeks. These might be some of the same questions that you've actually had on your mind lately, and we hope that we're able to answer some of them for you. I know that a lot of times we feel like we are alone, and the questions we have really only apply to us in our studio, but it turns out that I think many of us have the same thoughts and questions, and a lot of these questions are universal.
Yeah, I also will add that we just finished up our Confetti on the Dance Floor event called the Confetti Bloom Symposium, where we thought we were going to be doing a 2-hour seminar, and it turned into a 3-hour seminar, and we shared tons of great content. So one of the things we did during that is we had our attendees give us some questions to answer during that event. And we were not able to get to all of them. So these questions that we're going to answer today are also some of the ones that were posed to us when we did our event. Also, if you're interested in the event, you can still get that. You can just go to the Confetti shop at confettionthedancefloor.com, and everything was recorded, so you will be able to get that and watch it if you're interested in listening to us talk for 3 hours instead of how many of our hours this podcast is. But this is our final podcast, so we hope that you really enjoy it. Okay, so here we go. So first question. What are your COVID concerns, and how are you dealing with parent comfort levels of sending their child to dance? Is it dance as usual? Are you still going across the floor? Formations and choreography as usual? Please share your thoughts on this.
Okay, so just like all of you, we have a ton of concerns and probably the exact same ones that you guys are having. In addition to our own personal concerns as studio owners and teachers, we're having to think about everyone else's concerns as well. So there's a stress level there. One big thing that we're learning is that we need to talk through every scenario over and over again. And believe me, we do this, and come up with the best plan that we personally feel we're comfortable with. And when we're ready to present that plan, it needs to be delivered in complete confidence. So trust in what your plan is and feel confident with what you're doing when you put it out there. We're really realizing that just like with every other decision that we make in our studio, even in a normal year, non-COVID year, we're never going to make everyone happy. There are far too many people with different opinions, and it's literally next to impossible to please everyone. That being said, we really do try our hardest to speak to and accommodate as many of our families as we can at our studio. As far as parents and trying to ease their minds with sending their children into the studio, we just try our best to clearly communicate our policies on a weekly basis. Things are changing so often, and it's really important to keep them updated on your sanitation plan, your mask policies, your entrances and exits, what the foot traffic is going to be like in your studio. Do you have a lot of congestion and congregation going on? Putting it all out there just one time isn't going to be enough. They're going to want to hear from you ongoing, especially as things are changing. And remember, you can do everything in your power to create what you think is the perfect plan, and someone may feel differently, but that's okay. You do what feels right for you and be confident in that decision when you put it out there. As far as class structure, we are trying to keep things as familiar as possible for the kids, but keeping socially distant as well. We have the taped off grids on the floors that I think a lot of studios have been doing, which has been great. It just kind of reminds them to keep their space as much as possible. Depending on the age and level of the classes, of course, depends on the flow of the class. But when they are traveling across the floor, we have dots and spots for them to stand on while they're waiting. We make sure that there's at least 2 to 4 8 counts between each group that's traveling across so they don't get too close. And when we have them doing combos in groups, the groups are significantly smaller than normal. Like we'll try to do maybe 3 to 5 in a group instead of 6 to 8 in a group. And those waiting to take their turn are spaced out around the exterior of the room as much as possible. There's just those kinds of things. We're just trying to keep the kids, again, doing what they're familiar and used to, but keeping their distance as much as possible as well.
I also think it's important to point out that we are in the state of Georgia and we are open and we are allowed to have business. I know that there's still a lot of you that aren't there yet. So obviously, these things that we're talking about right now are things that we're doing in our studio. We certainly still have some dancers that aren't comfortable coming in, and we're currently just trying to navigate that as well, like having that hybrid class where some people are in, some people are out. We're using the band app to help with the kids that are not in the studio so that they can upload videos to us and we can give them feedback on that. But that is a challenge, and I think it's something that we're just going to continue to work on to make it better. But right now, like I said, we are in our studio and are starting back with face-to-face, but we're just trying to offer multiple options for dancers, depending on their comfort level.
Yes, very true. And then as far as choreography goes, we haven't started back in our fall season yet, but we plan to in the next 2 to 3 weeks with our companies and with our rec classes. But we're going to try to move forward with choreography as much as we can and as normal as we can. I think that our contemporary teachers are definitely working to maybe not have quite as much physical interaction between the kids and lifts as they would normally have. But for the most part, just doing the best we can to keep them spread out while on stage, maybe 4 lines instead of 3, that kind of thing. If we can limit formation changes, we will, but we also, don't want to compromise what we actually do and the art of it all for the kids and the audience.
I think going back to what Danny said in the beginning is just, what our viewpoints are on this may be completely different than yours. And I think that we all just need to recognize that we're all doing the best that we can in the area that we are in with the guidelines that we've been given. And that's all you can do. Like Danny said, I think you need to be confident with whatever it is that you're putting out there. I know that Danny and I have had, oh my gosh, millions of conversations with what feels like millions of different people. And it's so hard. There's so many different viewpoints on it. So I think that every studio is probably going to be a little bit different based on your area, based on your clients. So
don't compare yourself. Yeah.
Just do the best you can. That is all you can do. Do the best you can. Trust that you're making the best decisions and the safest decisions for your families and your studio, and then just be confident with that. And then it may change. It may change in a week,
Will likely change in a week, and you have to change with it. Okay, moving on to the next question. What are your basic marketing strategies?
Okay, so marketing strategies, shifting gears completely. Okay, so first of all, if you're interested in our super detailed marketing plan, I'm going to go back and talk about Confetti Bloom Symposium, because we did an entire 1 hour presentation on our detailed approach. And when I say our, I mean Rhythm Dance Center's detailed approach to marketing at our studio. And I also want to say that our approach really isn't about taking on specific systems and ads and things like that. And I thoroughly believe in that, but we've just never done it that way. We kind of use our strong brand. We use our themes. We love themes. We use our Make Dance Fun approach. And honestly, this whole marketing plan has been really instinctual for us. And I personally love listening to marketing podcasts, and I love to learn through our industry leaders as well. Like obviously Clint is great at this, Misty Lown, Suzanne and Jill at Dance Studio Owner. So we have some great industry leaders to really help you get some systems in place if you need that. But for us, and what I'm going to talk to you about right now is kind of, like I said, what our approach is at Rhythm. So the basics would be, first of all, with your photos that you're using to promote things at your studio, I am a huge fan of using your own dancers to use for your marketing. So for example, this could be class photos, it could be class videos, it could be recital videos or photos, past event photos, or also creating your own photo shoot, which, as you know, we do quite often. But using your own dancers, it instantly creates authenticity, and it instantly also starts to build your brand, or helps you build your brand. And it's all legitimately what is happening at your studio with your dancers. So that's really, really important to do, to make sure that you're using your dancers and your photos to promote your events. We also use MailChimp to create email marketing campaigns. We also use MailChimp for our newsletters. We also use it to communicate with our preschool program, Twirl, with our parents through that. I think Danny's going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. But MailChimp has a really easy interface to use, and it helps you to keep track of insights like how many clients are opening your emails, what time they're opening in, how they're engaging with your content. And then after you have a few campaigns, it'll look back and say, okay, this audience is opening their email mostly at 10 a.m. So then when you go to send that next email, it'll give you the option of saying, pick the time that is going to be best for your clients to engage. So the more you use MailChimp, the more it's going to build some of those insights to help you know when the best time is to send emails to promote things to your studio. I also use social media. I think, use your favorite social media platform to promote your event or classes. I always let our clients know that our platform of choice is Instagram. We also use Facebook, but there are so many social media platforms, and honestly, I just don't have time to keep up with all of them. So I think picking one and going with that and letting your customers know that's where they can find you and that's where they can engage with you, do that. And then they'll know where to look and where to find you. I also think try posting at different times, try posting different photos to engage with different audiences. Like, this is a really simple example, but if you're promoting your preschool program, don't post a third grader on that photo, or don't post a teen. Like, that's common sense. But honestly, we've made that mistake before when, like somebody I have a folder that usually I share with our team that they can pick photos from. And sometimes it's just been an honest mistake that, I may even give them the photo sometimes, but little things like that, just make sure whatever it is you're posting, and then try something different. If you've posted a photo with one dancer, maybe the next time post a photo with a dancer and a teacher, or post a group of dancers. Like, I think just trying different things like that helps attract different people on social media. Also, I think using Facebook ads or boosting posts when you can is great. And I recommend getting help on social media ads. That's not my area of expertise. I am definitely a create awesome content person. So I think that if you need help with social media ads, that's where some of our industry professionals can help you with that. There's also tons of online help via Facebook. Go on YouTube, just Google it. You can get some help and some tutorials that way. Also, I think for marketing, just try some varying approaches, like try something you haven't done before. Try snail mail, send a postcard, advertise in your local parent magazine. Maybe you even have a local community newspaper that would be good. Offer to host an arts day at your local school. Basically anything you can think of to get in front of a new audience. And there's probably lots of different things in your community that you could try. So I definitely encourage you to seek those things out. So those are just some basic approaches that we have when we are looking to market something at our studio. And again, if you want to hear us talk in a lot more detail about this with lots of photos and fun, you can still download our Confetti Bloom Symposium and hear us talk about it for a long time. All right, so we're going to move on to our next question, which is, can you tell us more about your Twirl preschool program and how you make it work at your studio?
Absolutely. So Twirl is our preschool program, like Becca just said, and we originally created it about 15 years ago, I think, 15 to 16 years ago, and we created it just for our studio rhythm. And since then, it's been completely revamped, and it's used in studios all over the country, which is exciting. The biggest thing we always tell people is that Twirl is not a curriculum. What we like to describe it as is like having a dance party in your classes, preschool classes, once per month. So each dancer has their own super cute workbook that has 10 completely original and creative dance activities to do with your classes. And that's where the once per month comes into play. So for us, we keep the workbooks at the studio in organized little magazine holders, and that we label each one with the class day and time so that we can keep them in their same spot and organized so they're ready for classes each week. That way we know that when it's a Twirl week, no one is going to forget their book and feel left out. So on Twirl weeks, we pull the books out, we sit in a circle with the kids, we read through that week's activity with all of the dancers, explain what's going to happen, and then they stand up, start dancing, and we put the books back in their magazine holder. There are honestly many activities that the kids become kind of obsessed with as they're going through the workbooks. So those activities might pop up and happen every single week, even though the books don't come out other than once per month. So on a Twirl week, we go pretty full out with decorating the studio according to that week's theme. Excuse me. We'll send out an email, like Becca was mentioning, we'll send an email through MailChimp. Excuse me.
Oh, Danny's getting choked up.
To all of our Twirl classes ahead of time, just to let them know that what the theme is going to be, and that we love, to have them dress up. We encourage them to dress up according to the theme for that week. So we shoot them an email, let them know what's going on, so that they know what to expect the following week. In an effort to keep all of the themes and decor organized, our preschool teachers actually get together before the season even begins to map out exactly which activity is going to happen which week. And then once that's all confirmed and organized, we send the calendar to all of our Twirl families and dancers so that they can be prepared. That being said, as you know, they're going to forget, so we still send them that reminder email the week prior to each Twirl week. And then also on that same note,
I was going to add something in, sorry. Just going back to where I talked about marketing earlier and using photos to market your studio and create original content. Our Twirl program, honestly, it provides the best photo ops ever, because They're dressing up, the studio's decorated, they're using fun props. So it's a great, great, great photo op. And our preschool teachers, I will tell you, are so, so good about taking photos for us to use to promote. If you go on Instagram and search the hashtag Rhythm Twirl, you will see all our photos. And it's that's another great marketing tool to have that hashtag that we use just for our preschool program, because we can always send our potential clients to Instagram and look at that hashtag. And then they have hundreds of photos and a few videos that they can look at. So anyway, that's a plug for Twirl and cute photos.
And kind of on that same page, we use those photos that our preschool teachers take to send a wrap-up email at the end of every Twirl week. We create in MailChimp a Twirl wrap-up email, and it just kind of talks about what each of the Twirl classes did, what their activities were, what their theme was, with several photos included, so the parents kind of get an idea of what they did as well. So that's always fun. In addition to the workbooks, each dancer also receives a satin rosette ribbon that's really, really cute. It coordinates with whichever level book they have, whatever color they have, and it hangs on their dance bags. We put them on their dance bag the very first week of the entire year, and they're super cute. And at the end of each class, we give them an adhesive rhinestone to put on their ribbon as their reward for doing so well that day. So at the end of the season, they have a full-out sparkly ribbon to remind them of how great their year of dance was in their preschool class. And lastly, we hold a Twirl graduation week at the end of the season, and we invite the parents in to come and watch. Obviously, this year it was virtual. We're hoping we can get back into somewhat normalcy next year, but we invite the parents to come in. The kids demonstrate a few of their favorite activities throughout the year, and then we present each of the dancers with a certificate. And then in true confetti fashion, we always end the graduation week with launching some confetti and having a dance party for all of the dancers and their parents. And then also one of the great things about Twirl is that because it's a workbook, you can very easily send them home or have them pick them up, so that the dancers can keep them at home and use them for if you should need to do virtual classes this year. I know many of us are, even if we're starting in studio, we have quite a few families that are preferring to do virtual. So having that opportunity to have the workbooks either in the studio or at home is great, so that you can continue with your classes as close to as normal as you would. We actually did this last season. We put a really cute mailer together and sent all the books home when we had to be in quarantine, and it really worked out great. And it was great for the kids to get that cute envelope in the mail with their workbook and their ribbon and whatnot. And actually right now we are working to update all 4 of the Twirl books to provide some different ways that you can modify the activities to work virtually should you need to do so. Some of them feel a little obvious, but there's some that we are completely reworking so that if you are in quarantine, or if you're shut down for any reason, or you have kids dancing from home, they'll still feel like part of the group by getting to do their normal Twirl activities. And a few of the other additions and updates that we're doing, we're going to provide some more decor options for each of the activities and the themes, and more suggestions on how to incorporate boys into those themes if you have any little boys in your preschool classes, and also adding some additional music suggestions. So that is Twirl. Hopefully that was helpful. Moving on to the next question. What are the best apps for creating high quality graphics and videos for social media?
Yay, social media. So this is definitely the most common question I feel like we get in our DMs on Instagram. I get DMs quite often saying, what app is that? Or how did you create that? What's that?
Said, how did you make that?
Yes, how did you make that? So I'm going to just share a few apps here that I use the most often, and just some basic advice for you. So for Instagram posts, I use PicCollage a lot. This app allows me to create collages and also use and add fun backgrounds to images. I highly recommend the VIP version, as it gives you access to so many backgrounds and so many stickers. And you can also use PicCollage for videos as well. And again, I'm going to go back to our Confetti Bloom Symposium. This is fresh on my mind, you guys, because we just did it. But I did include a short video tutorial in the symposium for using this app. It's about a 15-minute tutorial, and it just kind of gives you the basics. But it definitely has helped many of our attendees, as I'm already seeing so many create great graphics for their social posts. And I love this. I love it when I see people have success with the advice that I share. So thanks for sharing those. And PicCollage, it really just allows a lot of options for different styles because there's so many different background options, and it's so user friendly. It's super, super, super easy to use. So this is definitely a go-to for me. So PicCollage, I would highly recommend. Also, Rana Designs. If you've ever heard me talk in a seminar, this was my OG app that I used, that everybody was like, where'd you get that? It's Rana. I've been using this for as long as I can remember, but I will tell you that I do not use it as often as I used to, but it is really awesome for graphics for like birthdays. I feel like that's kind of my go-to for birthdays. Like we always post a staff birthday wish, and like also there's some great graphics on there for holidays. If you're doing a holiday post, there's some really fun little illustrations that you could use for preschool post. This app also, there's a lot of in-app purchases. So if you want some of those, the better graphics or more options on graphics, you end up having to pay for them. And it's about probably $1.99, maybe 99 cents per. So I do think that this app does end up being more expensive than PicCollage, just depending on how much you purchase, but it still remains a favorite for me as well. So that's Rana Designs. For videos, I really like the app InShot. It is really easy. It's just really easy to use, and it allows you to create videos in different sizes. You can add in music, you can add in graphics, animation, filters. So if you are doing some type of video that just like a quick little video that you're doing for social media or for IGTV, InShot's great, and you can add cute graphics and stuff on. So I like that. Another video app that I use and I've talked about in the past is Magisto. I like telling people about this one because it's kind of a different one. And it's not honestly something I use a ton, but it is great. It basically creates a cool, edited, fun video with graphics for you without you having to do anything. You just go into the app and you upload a few videos and or images. And then you select the theme or the template and the music, and you can add your own words, like, you know, your website address or your hashtag or whatever it is you want to put on there. And then basically the app creates this video for you. And so it takes a couple of minutes to create, and then it'll come back and it'll say, do you like this? And you can say no, or you can make changes or whatever, and it'll redo it again. But it basically just creates a really fun video for you. We've used this for preschool classes. Like we have our class that we called our hip hop flip flop class. And we have had like music video day, and we'll like email the parents and let them know, hey, we're going to shoot a fun music video in class. You know, everybody wear pink and blue or whatever it is that you want them to wear. And then you just shoot a couple of videos in the class or a couple of photos. You upload them all into the app. And then it creates the video and you share it with the parents. And usually they're like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. Because it's just like a fun thing. And it looks like you tried really hard, but you didn't. You really just uploaded it into this app and it worked for you. So that's Magisto. It's like Magisto. And then the last app I want to talk about, which is Canva. And it's kind of an app, I guess, but I don't usually really use it on my phone. But Canva, overall, I think Canva currently offers the best graphics and templates out there. The interface is so user-friendly, and there's honestly so many options. I feel like they just keep adding things that you can literally do anything and create anything. Like, we do have a graphic designer that we use for some of our things, but like really with Canva, you become your own graphic designer. It has so many options. You can print right there from the program. So it's really great. I enjoy using Canva on my desktop. I think I mentioned this earlier, but I don't love the app. I feel like I'm just more proficient using other apps on my phone. But on my desktop, I mean, I create flyers, presentations, postcards, newsletters, and social posts as well sometimes. But you can add animation, you can create logos. It's really an amazing program, and it's the one I would most highly recommend. And I think you should just go in there and try it. And if you, if it's something that you don't want to do, then you hire someone or you have another one of your team members, but it's really the best. Okay. So a top tip just overall for any of these that I just talked about, I really encourage you to use the paid version of the app. I know everybody wants a free app, but if you want a more professional look, you need to pay for the app so that you don't have that watermark or their logo on it. It's really not that expensive, and it's well worth it. And in addition, the paid versions of all these apps are going to offer you more content. So please consider this if you want your graphics to look more professional. It just gives you a more professional look for all of your posts. Okay, so I could spend hours sharing apps and talking about creating content for social media, but we don't have that. So those are my highlights. And because I truly enjoy creating content and fun graphics, I think that's why I've gotten good at it, is because I literally enjoy doing it. But it will take you time to get comfortable with some of the apps, but the more you do it, the better you're going to get. So just start experimenting, start somewhere. And if you know you're never going to do it yourself, hire someone to do it. It's important. You need those graphics. You need fun content and great photos and all of those things for your studio. So, and using these apps and hiring someone is going to make your life much easier. So go for it.
Such great advice.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we're to our final question, which is, do you have any advice on navigating the upcoming season with COVID in mind?
Whew, that one is kind of a loaded question. Yes. So I think the biggest thing to remember is that this is not going to be easy. So you need to be ready to continue working harder than you would normally work and offer lots of options and change your plans and adapt to the place that we are currently in, because it's changing on a daily basis. It's exhausting. We are exhausted. We toss things around over and over and over and over again until we figure out what's right. Then sometimes that even changes. But I think just knowing before you go into it that it's going to be exhausting and it's not going to be easy is going to help you get through it. I think optimism is key. Again, it's not always easy. There are days I don't want to get out of bed and I don't want to open my computer because I'm afraid to see what the latest update is from our state or our area. But it's really the only way that you're going to get through it. So trying to find any ways that you can, and it's different for everybody, but trying to find ways to clear your head and keep that optimism is super important. We've talked about this a little bit at other times too, but just making sure that you're communicating clearly and honestly with your clients. We have a weekly update email in place that we send to the studio. And even if we don't really have a lot of new information or there aren't many changes, we still send it out. It's short. It's just letting them know where we're at. It's thanking them again for being patient and working with us and continuing to support us. We actually also have a separate update that we send to our company dancers and parents because they sometimes need different information than the rest of the studio does. And I think as long as they know what you're thinking, it helps them make more educated decisions and makes them feel better about things.
Yeah. And I think just going along with what Danny said, I mean, you need to give them a plan A, B, and C, and even possibly D, just to give them a sense of relief. And also I just think it lets them know that even though the plans are likely going to continue to change, it's letting them know that you are thinking ahead and giving them peace of mind that you have thought about it, that you do have options. That's, I feel like one of the number one feedback that we got from a lot of our clients is just that they were so grateful that we continued to send them what we were thinking. Even though we didn't always have the right answer, we let them know that we were going to continue to try to evolve and we had these different plans in mind. I know if you've listened to all these podcasts that we've done during this series, you heard Danny and I talk about, I think in our very first one, that we have a Google Doc and it's called COVID-19 Plan A, B, C, D, E. It literally goes through the whole alphabet. I will tell you, we've been using that same one all summer. I'm kind of done with it. Danny, would you agree with that?
Yeah. I actually, it's been sitting on my desktop forever. It's always open, and I got rid of it maybe 3 weeks ago. I just felt like we were in a good place, and the document is back. It's present on my desktop again. I think it has like 9 pages or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane how much. But that's where Danny and I continually worked during the whole quarantine. We haven't been in quarantine this summer, but we have been continuing to work in that document. It just kind of gave us a place. And it also helped us remember what our last update was or what our last thought was. So I highly recommend doing that. We're going to definitely start a fresh one because we're going to need to start all over and have all those letters of the alphabet available to us again. Also, I think just having a support group and a supportive team is very important. Like, we have an amazing team. Our faculty is really on board with helping us navigate this. And it's definitely been a huge group effort for us to get through all of this and for us to continue to change. Is absolutely not Danny and I doing it on our own. So I think that, you being supportive of your faculty, and hopefully they're going to be supportive of you, is really important. And then also just having support from our industry, from being in the Facebook groups where you can get lots of different feedback from the industry professionals or from your fellow studio owners. I also think having studio owner BFFs, or maybe you have a group of studio owners in your area or your state that you could kind of keep in touch with via text, which I know we've done, or via Zoom meetings, which we've also done. It's just really important to stay in contact with your peers, because that's going to help you survive. It's going to help you thrive, and just to help you navigate all the things.
Yes, and it's so important. It has been huge for us over the last several months. We have officially come to the end of our Confetti State of Mind podcast series. Thank you all so much for tuning in and listening to us each week. Please continue to engage with us in our private Facebook group, which you can find at the link on our website on the Confetti Circle page, or via the link in our bio on Instagram. That's definitely the best place to really engage with us. And in addition, follow us on Instagram at Confetti on the Dance Floor and at Rhythm Dance Center. We are always open to questions and comments.
Yes, also I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Clint Salter and also to Mel for giving us the opportunity to come on and talk to you guys for the past 8 weeks. They're both awesome. Yes, so thank you both so much, Clint and Mel, for letting us take over and run our mouths on your podcast. Danny and I, we wish you guys all the very best as we begin this uncertain season. And I think just please be certain that dance is here to stay, and you can do this. You can get through it. So we're going to close with some words from our Confetti Bloom Symposium. We think it is so important for you to bloom where you are planted, and also to root for each other and watch each other grow.
Yes, and as always, we continue to encourage you to make dance fun at your studio. Best wishes to all of you. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Transform My Dance Studio podcast. Thanks again for listening. For more information about working with Clint and our tribe of successful dance studio owners all around the world, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at hello@dsoa.com and let us know how we can help you grow the studio of your dreams while getting your life back. Or you can check out our free resources online at www.dsoa.com.